Hello, today's June 3rd. I was going to give another garden update. You can see my black-seeded Simpson lettuce is doing very well. Continues to grow. We've had about 3 or 4 cuttings off of it already. It's a cut and come again variety. We also have my second planting of lettuce behind it. Also, I have a butternut squash plant that's not too old, but it's coming along nicely as well. Onions are doing extremely well. Again, this was just a bunch variety that we bought at a nursery. But you can see the bulbs are developing nicely. Continue to do well. The green beans, Blue Lake variety again, bush variety, is doing very well too. We've already started to get a little green beans. I would think in the next few weeks we'd actually start harvesting. Here is where I had parsnips originally, and I have replaced them with peppers. The first 2 are habanero peppers, and then I have 4 more jalapeno peppers. They are continuing doing well. We've already got some jalapeno peppers developing. My next row is my sweet potato row. This is Beauregard sweet potato, grown from slips. I showed in a previous video. And you can see our basil is actually starting to come up a little better than it was last time. My wife had replanted some, and we've gotten a little more coming up. So we probably have 5 or 6 plants that are coming up pretty nicely. My caraway is still doing well behind it, as well as the oregano. Next row is my Hungarian yellow wax peppers. They continue to do very well. We harvested 2 or 3 off of them. I probably have 4 more ready to harvest today. Strawberry, I'm pleased to say, was a success of my trial of the 2 different varieties, trying both the Sequoia as well as the Quinault. Turned out the Sequoia was an extremely sweet berry. I was very, very pleased with it. In fact, this is what I will keep and propagate, and this will become my standard strawberry. The Sequoia is a very, very sweet one. The Quinault actually is sweet as well. It's sweeter than the Ozark Beauty that I was growing last year. However, it is just a hair more tart. So it might be a good pie strawberry or something. However, certainly the Sequoia is very sweet and easy to eat fresh. Asparagus bed, not much change with it. The tomatoes, you can see that I have put cages around them since last time. Again, here are my 6 better boys. We've already got tomatoes probably bigger than golf balls, I would say, maybe almost baseball size. Next 6 plants of tomatoes were the cherry tomatoes. And then here is my yellow squash, yellow straight neck squash. And actually I have been fooled by a volunteer. Actually I have 2 plants per hill. I have 2 here, and then I have 2 coming along in the back that were planted at a later period. Turns out one of the 2 here is not a squash, in fact. I suspect it's a cantaloupe. I actually have this problem a lot because when I'm using my compost, I don't use, or my composting method, I don't heat it up as fast as a rapid composting. So I have a lot of volunteer seeds and stuff that survive the composting process. Melons seem to be one of them. I have a volunteer melon, in fact, growing right now in my pepper row. I'm going to leave and see what happens. You see the carrots are actually starting to do a little better. Here is one from the original planting. We have since replanted, and you can see all this is now carrots. They all came up much better the second time. After this short row of carrots, I have actually planted radishes coming from here, and then here is another row of lettuce, a mesclun blend. We planted it under the trellis so that as the heat of the summer comes about, it will have some shade. On the trellis is my cucumbers, straight 8 cucumbers. You can see they're liking the trellis and growing up it nicely. We have a few herbs planted here. This is some sage, and here is some cilantro we're going to use and try to plant with our peppers and make some tomatoes to make salsa. Garlic is almost ready to harvest. You can see how it's starting to turn yellow. I don't give it much longer. I think last time I said it was probably another month or 2. I would say now we're certainly within a month of harvesting. Again, these were both heirloom varieties gotten by, from Seed Saver Exchange. So we're quite anxious to test them and see how they are. Next was a row of bell pepper. We have some baby bell pepper growing on it as well, a 6 bell pepper plant. And then, as I recall, it was Better Bell was the variety. And then we have Hale's Best Jumbo Cantaloupes. And we're growing, I have 2 plants per cage. I'm growing them in cages. I've never actually done this on purpose before. We actually had this happen last year. I mentioned earlier how we have volunteers, cantaloupe and other melons a lot with my composting. Well, we actually had a volunteer cantaloupe come up in a tomato cage last year. I did not realize it until it had actually started to fruit. And it had such a nice fruit, I actually just left it. And I thought, well, this is actually a pretty good way to grow cantaloupe. So we're actually going to try this method. And apparently the cantaloupe like it. You can see it's light strong. We're growing up. Cantaloupe usually takes up a lot of space. So this would be one way we can contain this space. So we'll let you know how that comes out. And that's it for right now.